Hi there and welcome back to my channel. My name's Kawaii Kant and who the f are you? Anyway, I was watching some of this video and I decided that it is totally something that I want to react to because it's just nice to see other people who are saying the same thing as me. You know, it gives me some hope for the world and I wanted to add my own 2 cents. So let's watch the full thing together, yeah?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy. I just got over a really bad case of COVID, which of course was an absolute blast, and I would highly recommend to anyone. And I'm a middle school teacher, and I was out of work for a few days, and I got back on Monday to a note from my sub that said, boy in back left, and then it had that crossed out, and then it said below that, 8:49 a.m., and then it had that crossed out, and then it said, no issues to report. And you know what? I'm not asking any questions, aka Reed from Shameless Nerd.
Shameless Nerd, I like that.
App. If you end up liking this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. You can also click the join button to become a member of the channel, whereupon you will get exclusive access to an ever-increasing catalog of members-only videos, as well as access to every video a few days early. You can also join the Shameless Nerd Discord at the link in the description, and you can email me with any questions, comments, concerns, or your...
Before we get started here, if I scream out of nowhere, because I'm not going to edit this much, it's because there was a flying bug in here that I thought I killed and had it. I guess I didn't kill it and it came after me, so that might happen.
Hottest takes about early 2000s pop music at Reed from shamelessnerd@gmail.com. All right, let's get into it. If you have a child in your life in some way, any way, be it obviously your own kids, but also be it a younger sibling, a niece or a nephew, an adopted kid with massive bags under his eyes who grows up to be a creepy man in a bowler hat with a killer mustache who travels in time to steal a world-changing invention from his roommate because he ruined his big baseball game by keeping him up all night working on said invention, you officially have an obligation. We as a society have an obligation, and in my almost year now of making YouTube videos on this channel, I have been empathetic, I have been patient, I have been as non-judgmental as I think is humanly possible given the amount of research I have put into this stuff and how adamantly I believe what I believe. But in this video, I'm going to allow myself to be a little preachy and risk coming off maybe a little bit judgy, because at this point, I just think we have to start somewhere. And hopefully I have built enough goodwill on this channel for people watching this to know that it comes from a place of love and empathy and optimism for the future, and like to swallow some hard truths despite them feeling a little bit bad maybe.
This guy's so nice. I'm so different on my channel. I'm just like, fuck you, you're an idiot.
To hear older siblings, babysitters, daycare employees, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and especially parents, stop letting your children watch YouTube. Stop. Don't give them an iPad.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Severe sense is being made here.
With YouTube Kids on it and let them watch YouTube. Quit it. What are you doing? In this video, first I'm going to make...
Stop that. Get some help. Now, when I first watched this, I was like, YouTube Kids. There are adults, there are full-ass adults I know who are letting their kids on just completely full YouTube. Like, not even YouTube Kids. And yeah, he makes a point here in a minute that, like, stuff can seep on YouTube Kids. Of course it does. Stuff that isn't kid friendly. But it's like, even he's like being so nice, right? And so like understanding. And so like, I don't want to be problematic. And he's just like, get him off YouTube Kids. And I'm like, get him off all of YouTube. Bro.
A detailed research-backed evidence-based case as to why this is bad. And then I'm going to get a little bit more preachy and high-horsey. But first of all, there are some disclaimers I need to make up front. A good deal of the content that I will be criticizing in this video is made by and starring children and their parents, and I am 10 billion% criticizing these parents who, in my opinion, are essentially prostituting their children for internet money and robbing them of their childhood by turning them into content farms and employees.
I have always said this. I have always been against, I've been against that. I think that's very obvious to us adults, and it's very important that, yeah, we don't blame the kids. Because it's already going to be worse enough for them. They're going to grow up and be so embarrassed about all this, you know, them being online and everything.
Of a business instead of part of a real family, but I am not criticizing these children. They, of course, are innocent victims of what I believe to be a really insidious practice, and while I'm going to criticize the content that they are making, I'm not criticizing these poor kids who are ultimately just children who should be allowed to be children, which is like my whole point, and I am criticizing their parents who are the ones actually making this content. It's not like these 8-year-olds are behind the $4,000 cameras like being used to film these videos, or on Adobe After Effects putting in 8-hour shifts doing like VFX. It's the parents. Secondly, I want to say up front that I am a single parent of a 4-year-old boy who has an absolute metric shit ton of chaotic gremlin energy. I am not at all in any way saying that it is natural or possible, or even healthy if it were natural or possible, to be a perpetual, ever-present human entertainment center for your kid. I'm not arguing, come on guys, you need to be on your feet 12 hours a day putting on skits and full stage makeup and playing
Based as fuck. As usual, the internet is split because we can't do what? Fucking moderation. You think that we want you to be worn out and dead by the end of the day because you are hand and footing service your children, giving them whatever they want, entertaining them, constantly doing educational things? No, like that's not pragmatic. That's not realistic. No one's saying that. But you also shouldn't shove an iPad in their face for multiple hours a day. In fact, the World Health Organization, and I know like some people are like, oh, that thing is all bullshit. I haven't, maybe I'll do a video on that one day because I haven't seen the bullshit from the World Health Organization. I think people just didn't like it when they said don't eat red meat. But even they were like, kids, especially under 5, shouldn't be on their tablet for like more than an hour. And here we are just using it as like a full-on parenting tool. It's disgusting.
Pretend with your children, preparing activities, lesson plans, making sure they're properly educated and adequately entertained all day. And needing a break makes you a bad parent. Quit being lazy. That's not what I'm saying. It's actually really important to not do that. Part of the case that I will be making is about forcing your kid to entertain herself. And my son
Yeah, it's like the whole, it's almost like for babies, like when they cry, if you rush to them and immediately soothe the crying and stop the crying every time, you're robbing them the opportunity to self-soothe, and that's a very important mechanic. And I think that's why we're having so many adult babies nowadays, is because we're just babying the fuck out of people. So again, everything's about moderation. And also my credentials in this is I'm a parent as well. I have an 8 and 10-year-old. So what of it, bitch?
absolutely watches movies. I've even let him play my Nintendo Switch on occasion. I'm not out here like hand-picking granola to make him artisan cookie crisp on TikTok, I promise you. And finally, I'm not gonna talk at all about inappropriate content on YouTube Kids or whatever. Like, you shouldn't let your kids watch YouTube because they might see inappropriate stuff, things that are too scary for their age demo or nudity or whatever. This is 100% a real issue and is true, and there have been tons of cases of YouTube Kids being flooded with inappropriate content that's like snuck its way around kid-safe features on the app. And you should be concerned about that, but that's not a case that I'm really interested in making, and I actually think that that's not even close to the biggest deal or the strongest reason why you shouldn't let your kids watch YouTube. Okay, so what am I saying then? To boil it down as simply as I can put it up front, this is my case. There are many, many reasons why kids shouldn't be set in front of an iPad watching YouTube, and further, it's not even that hard to avoid. It's not like the alternative is difficult or bad. There is almost no difference, no additional effort, no expense, no downside to just not doing it.
Just don't do it.
Okay, so first of all,
and that drives me crazy if a parent would sit there and be like, well, what else am I going to give them or do? Are you shitting me? There's chalk, there's art, paint, crayons, markers, there's books, there's learning books, there's those kids activity like kits where they make jewelry or they make, I don't know, like just something. There's so many things they could do, or even just play with some of their fucking toys. Like, is it just me, or do all these iPad babies have like an overabundance of toys and they don't even fucking play with them? They just sit on their iPad all day and the parents just fucking lets them because they don't want to be fucked with. And yeah, it pisses me off.
YouTube Kids watching YouTube Kids are watching one of a few different main types of content that I have seen. These are like the main pillars of YouTube Kids. 1, other kids opening and playing with toys, unboxing videos of kids getting presents essentially, and then playing with those toys. 2, poorly animated CGI renders of like dinosaurs on Hot Wheel cars suspended high in the air, and they're like racing and crashing into each other, and Spider-Man's there, and Iron Man is like farting on the Incredible Hulk.
Nothing is sacred anymore. And I have been so fucking against the whole like kids YouTube thing where they just, they get all the presents that they want, all the toys, they unbox them, they open them and play with them there. It is toy glorification, all for the sake of turning your kid into a walking ATM machine. It is disgusting.
3, video game streamers playing video games like Minecraft and doing commentary targeted at a younger demographic, or seemingly so, perhaps. 4, AI-generated nonsense songs about dancing fruits that veer wildly from one track to another with no connection to the previous one or the next one. And 5, weirdly sort of voyeuristic videos with relatively high-effort editing on behalf of the parents who film their children in semi-elaborate skits about toys that they're being paid to promote.
I will say I did used to let my kids watch a YouTube channel where these two girls liked to make scary videos, and it was very evident that this was pretty much completely their production. I would guess it was not like high quality. It was not like the props were not great, like all of that stuff. You could just tell it just seemed like two sisters who just wanted to do this, and their parents just like let them upload it. Should their parents have let them upload it? I don't know. That's above me to say. Like, I would say probably not, because again, the kids are going to grow up, look back on it, be super hyper embarrassed. But at the same time, at least it was something that they were interested in, right? Like, if there's any criticism at my house, it's maybe all of us play games a little bit too much. We're all big video gamers, but we do stop to play a board game. We do play the video games together, and it's not just, Prison Break Minecraft. It's like, hey, build the best water slide you can, or build a secret base, or like, stuff that's interactive and engaging, and like forcing them to create and not just play hide and seek like the stupid AFMAO bitch or whatever. Oh my god, it just drives me crazy.
All of these things have in common, apart from being very shitty, if I'm trying to be as objective as possible for this part of the video, and I will get
I feel bad. I don't mean AFMAO is a bitch. I just mean that's just my slang. I'm sorry. Of course a child is not a bitch.
a little bit more preachy later. Like I said, all of these types of content are sensory based and not plot based, meaning they are designed to entertain based on showing kids cool looking or sounding stuff, cool new toys to look at in number 1, crazy scenarios where Donkey Kong is fighting SpongeBob on the back of a moving train type shit in number 2, loud color.
Yeah, is it any wonder that these people just want to get that they just want to get monetized off of YouTube, that they want to get millions of views so that they can get a fuck ton of money? Of course, they're going to make the most engaging shit possible, and it's brain numbing and just stupid, devoid of any context or content or whatever, just to get your kid to watch it. You should feel suckered.
And sounds with big eye-catching words and wacky scenes popping up all over the screen in number 3. Literally just colors and shapes and songs in number 4. And again, toys to look at in number 5. The main difference between YouTube content for kids and content made for kids in all previous generations, even mine less than 25 years ago when I would have been the age to watch this kind of stuff, is that it's not using storytelling to entertain, it's using sensation. And why is that bad? Well, it's just a few reasons. It just hampers development of executive function, which is essentially every conscious thing that one's brain does. It decreases attention spans and worsens symptoms in kids with ADHD. It delays social skill development and impairs cognitive capability. It lengthens the—
Wow, how about that? It's bad for their development. Who would have fucking guessed that? People are saying things like, my child won't even speak because I'm just putting them in front of Cocomelon, or what was the other one? The little boy, like Poyoko or something, where he just like says, no, no, no. He like shakes his head no, and he doesn't talk. Is it any fucking wonder that your children are not speaking at an age when they should be, when this is all you do? You just shove like hyper visualize like dopamine triggering things in front of them. Like, seriously?
Time necessary for children to develop emotional regulation skills. Oh, look, here's a study about kids being diagnosed with autism because of the symptoms of early and excessive screen time in toddlers. Let me slow down and rephrase that actually. Children being officially diagnosed with autism, not because they were born with autism spectrum disorder, but because they developed so many traits associated with autism spectrum disorder due to the adverse effects of their overexposure to small screen time, that they effectively just developed autism. Not even effectively. Children are literally developing autism from spending too much time on an iPad.
From just sitting there drooling. Yeah. Of course they're going to have like social issues.
And real quick, just to say, autistic people are some of the coolest people in the world. I'm almost definitely somewhere on the spectrum myself. There's certainly nothing wrong with being autistic.
I 100% agree with that. I know I'm on the spectrum too. That stupid test I took had me scored very high, but I didn't go get officially tested. But I think obviously that there's nothing wrong with that or anything. It's just you're teaching your kid to just be a zombie, a drooling zombie. This is the problem.
But at minimum, it presents a lot of challenges that in a perfect world shouldn't. That in a perfect God damn it. Here we go again. That in a perfect world, children wouldn't be forced to overcome, especially if we're giving it to kids because we won't take their iPad away. Okay, calm down. There's a preachy part coming. And look, it's obvious when you think about it. First of all, most obviously, being overstimulated is bad for a child because their brains are small and developing. You guys know that's what being a child means, right? Child have small brain, adult have big brain, adult brain done cooking. Ow, ooh, don't touch, hot. And a child.
I love the sassy side of this guy. Please, King, preach. Please preach. Don't be afraid of being an asshole. I'm here for it. I love it. And the world needs to hear it. And these bad, stupid parents, I'm sorry, not badass. These bad parents need to hear it and they need to be called out for it because you're fucking ruining the world, essentially.
Brain being constantly triggered to produce and release dopamine is even more detrimental than it is for an adult brain, and it's really bad for adult brains. That's like every 5th video I've ever made on this channel, probably. Dopamine deficit is linked to depression, anxiety, ADD, all at all-time highs among young people. Come here. What do you think is happening? What could it be? And if you're not into mental disorders like those, here have some studies about dopamine deficiency being linked to Alzheimer's, which killed my grandma, Parkinson's, which killed my other grandma, addiction, which by extension killed my
Oh no, did I do that thing with my microphone? Okay, it's not as bad as it's not at 100, but every time I voiceover record on CapCut, it like resets this to 100 and then it sounds terrible. So I'm so sorry if that happens anyway.
My mom through the hands of the addict who murdered my mother. Story for another time. Dopamine deficiency is not pseudoscience. It's not shallow correlation being paraded as causation. Short form content has been proven irrefutably in adults to create issues with dopamine production centers and dopamine receptors in the brain. Now you be honest with yourself and ask yourself if you think that it's a stretch to think that maybe that might not be good for children. What children?
If it's causing problems in adults, but just maybe we shouldn't be letting kids have unlimited access to this like some of them do. What the fuck? He's so right.
And on the other side of this, children are being robbed of when they watch Minecraft Steal a Brain Rot Challenge 6-7 edition on YouTube all day, which, by the way, I didn't make that up. That's a real thing. My nephew, who is a great kid, and I love him dearly, he's awesome. He's not a problem or anything by any means, was at my house the other day, and he said, Uncle Reed, can we watch TV? And I said, sure. And this kid types in brain rot into the search bar. The kids are searching for shit that is called brain rot. I am going to walk into the ocean. What the kids are being robbed of is also important for development, and that is linear plot structure. We are storytellers, evolutionarily, biologically. Our capacity for understanding and relaying hypothetical scenarios is like the primary adaptation that allowed the viability of the human race as a species. Storytelling is super important. When kids are watching funniest Fortnite kill compilation, you won't believe number 6 all day, instead of something plot-based, something story-based, they are not learning to understand plot development, and that is really important. How important? Engaging with long-term plot structure as a child enhances language acquisition and development. It stimulates creativity and imagination. It improves concentration and memory. It builds emotional intelligence. It enhances problem solving. And if you think about it for like half a second, it's really obvious, and that makes a lot of sense. If you're watching a Pixar movie, right, as a 4-year-old, sure, it has pretty colors and music and stuff, but you've also got to discern who the main character is. You have to interpret and consider dialogue to understand what's happening. You have to remember who said what and when. You learn like delayed gratification. You learn to remember something that happened an hour ago in order to understand why it's happy when the good guy wins. And in addition to all of that, you learn all of the nice stuff, all of the lessons about family and love and whatever the hell. And I'm not even talking about any of that stuff. My point is this: you need a break every now and then, and maybe one day
I concur. Disney movies, especially older ones, were really good at that, and there's some newer ones that are too. But yeah, like when it's a no wonder that why little Johnny like has problems with reading comprehension at later stages than we've ever seen, when he's just given crap. And you know, there's a whole category here that he didn't list because, again, I know kids who are just given full flat out YouTube and have come to me and told me about YouTube pranks, and I'm like, really? Are you shitting me right now? Like, that had to resurrect in my life and come through as my child telling me about it because his mom lets him watch it. Like, this is so fucking stupid, bro.
I'll get laughed at and be painfully wrong about this myself, but to me, it's okay to put your kid in front of a TV on occasion and let them watch a movie so you can do the dishes or whatever. You need that in order to be a present parent, to have the energy to be there for your kids, and that's okay.
Yeah, if you're not taking care of yourself, then who's going to take care of your kids? Because it's not you. So you do need that downtime. And the other thing is you can use those movie times as a reward for good behavior. You know, you can be like, okay, do a quick 10-second tidy, 10-minute tidy, whatever's needed in your house, and I'll throw on a movie. Then it's something that they work towards. When you don't let them work towards anything and you just let them sit on the iPad all day and get those dopamine hits, is it any wonder that they are not wanting to do anything in school? They're not interested in being good at school. I could go on.
But there is a massive difference in putting them in front of Big Hero 6 on the family's TV in the living room and giving them full directorial control over an iPad you put in their hand for them to watch Dinosaur Farts Himself to Death compilation in the dark in their bedroom. There are, in my opinion, a lot of actual benefits to watching parent-curated long-form content on occasion. There are studies I'm linking to in the description about why that could actually maybe be kind of good for your kids. But there's nothing you can find about why iShow's Speed funniest 6-7 moments is good for your kids at minimum. And what's the reason, really? Why would you not choose the former? There is just a difference between those two things. And now, to kind of hard transition into maybe the more preachy part of the video, there's also a difference between letting your kids sit down to watch Moana on the couch on a school night and never interacting with your damn kid again. You have to talk to your kids, man. You have to look them in the eyes and stuff. I think, in all honesty,
What a concept. You have to actually interact with your children. Yeah, that's another thing that these parents aren't doing. And it pisses me off personally because I'm like, okay, if you really are a parent, like, okay, I'm not going to get in your case too much if you give your kids a tablet for like 2 hours a day. But when you choose to do it like constantly and they can go to bed with it and everything, you don't be a parent. You don't want to be a parent. You don't want to interact with them or talk to them. Kids nowadays are having trouble even looking people in the eyes because of this. Like, my kids do it, and then I hosted my first ever birthday party for one of my kids at my house this weekend, and one little girl kept having like emotional issues during this party. It was so weird, and her parents like weren't there. That's a whole other argument I can make, is why the fuck would you leave your parent, why the fuck would you leave your kid at another person's house that you just met, like at least for the first time? Maybe stick around. Like, who knows if I'm a fucking weirdo or bad, or I don't know. Like, it just seems weird to me. Like, catch me never doing that, leaving my kids somewhere when it's their first time over there. That's just weird. Anyway, sorry, not to talk shit on the parent, but something was definitely wrong, because this little girl kept like freaking out the entire time. And when it got like to the 4th or 5th time, she walked up to me and she was like, do you have any electronics I could play on, because I'm really bored and the other girls aren't letting me, like, you know, join the group or whatever. And I'm like, girl, you're exiling yourself. And, you know, I had to tell her no. And she still walked over to like the family desktop down there and started touching it. And I was like, no, like, are you not used to hearing no, little girl? And this is the same little girl who my daughter was on the phone with a couple weeks ago. And I heard things. She was saying things over the phone like, you know, the latest iPhone coming out, right? Oh, I got a backpack with a little boo-boo on it. And I just wanted to puke. I wanted to hurl. And again, these are children. It's not their fault. Children are a walking reflection of everything that's around them. And for her to just need electronics so badly just to even handle a situation is concerning. And she couldn't even look me in the eyes. And I was really trying to, like, I took her away from the party. We walked out of that room into another one. And I was like, look, honey, like, what's wrong? Like, you can't just keep getting mad like every 2 seconds when things don't go your way. It's sad. It's concerning. This is a huge red flag for all of society. I'm gonna rewind just to 5 seconds because pretty sure I interrupted him.
Your kids, man. You have to look them in the eyes and stuff. I think, in all honesty, it's pretty disgusting to rob your 5-year-old child of getting to talk to you at dinner by bringing air traffic control headphones and a silicone-covered Amazon tablet to the restaurant with you.
I'm so sick of seeing this too. And it's like, sure, bring it sometimes. Bring it if your kid is having a grumpy day. But I'm seeing people in public with their children like this, and their child is just dead to the world like the entire time they're on the electronic. The entire time. It's not even like a, oh, finish your food thing first. And I've even seen like one parent and one child sitting there eating. And I'm like, you really can't just teach them to just be in the world, to just look around, to observe, to ask questions. This is a new environment. But no, this is all little Johnny is getting, is right here, instead of everything else that could be around him, or him learning how society starts to work. Not like a child needs to know everything about society and how it works, but they can start getting like hints of it, glimpses of it, seeing what it looks like, start being exposed to it in healthy ways. This is not healthy.
I know that you're worried about the other parents judging you if your kid's loud at dinner or whatever, but, and I'm going to say a really
if you're worried about that as a parent, you don't deserve to be a fucking parent. Who fucking cares? Let your kid have a tantrum, because if you feed into the tantrum, they're going to keep doing it. I never had a tantrum as a kid, neither did my sister, and my kids don't have tantrums with us. You know why? Because they know it doesn't fucking work. They don't get what they want out of it. So when you, and if you're embarrassed for your kid to even like have a scene, like, first of all, if there is another adult judging you for this, they're stupid. This is something that kids do to test boundaries. They all do it maybe at least like once or for a second. So like a little outburst here and there is normal for a child. And it's normal for a child in a new setting to possibly push boundaries. But we need parents to be there and to be like, no, and not react to it and not care if what the other parents think. What is this, high school?
bad word for the first time on this channel, and I'll bleep it, but those parents. Why do you care more about what some hypothetical stuffy old couple in a corner booth at a restaurant think about you and your family than you do your relationship with your own children?
Yes, exactly. Why is that more important than the development of your kids?
With your kids. My God.
Oh, he's tearing up.
They're not gonna die if they're a little bit bored sometimes. In fact, it's really good for them to be bored, because unlike you, who spent the last 10 years of your life frying your brain after spending the last 20 years being indoctrinated to be productive at all costs, your child has an imagination. And when they're bored, they'll use it and they'll end up having fun and they'll be—
Thank you. This. We only grow in discomfort. Let me say it again for those in the back. We only grow in... I'm sorry, Kitty. You're trying to get up on my lap and here I'm slamming my table. Come here, Kitty. We only grow in discomfort. When they feel a little bit of discomfort, it sucks. We don't want our kids to go through it, but they have to so that they can grow. Maybe little Johnny will get a great idea about what he wants to do when he gets home, or a game he wants to play, or like maybe he'll be like, I want to put on a skit, or he'll see another kid at another table doing something and being like, oh, I want to do that when I get home, or find a new hobby or something. It's so sweet, by the way, that this guy's like tearing up. I'm so sorry, my dude.
Be just fine. God. A family friend of ours had a birthday party for their little dude the other day, and they really went all out for this kid. It was really cool. They had a bouncy house and a big slide thing and little arts and crafts projects set up and games to play in the yard. And 3 times at that party, I found 11 little kids ages 4 to 8 sitting in silence watching some kid opening packages in a warehouse on the TV. And maybe I overstepped. Maybe this is like a dick move, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. After the 3rd time, I had to go in there and be like, hey guys, y'all know there's a bouncy house outside. Do you not realize I would have murdered a family of 5 for a bouncy house when I was 7 years old? I hid the remote on the top of the door jamb. I just think
Good
that's
for
lame.
You. Hold on, my microphone's gonna die.
And at this point in my life, especially when my son is involved, I'm willing to make people a little uncomfortable, I guess. And I'm certainly not a perfect parent by any means, but to me, like, y'all, like my brother got engaged at Disney World and he sent me photos of iPad kids with headphones on at Disney World. Grow up, talk to your children, my God. And on a—
Wow, that is really crazy and sad to hear. It just seems that parents are spending more than ever on things that are for children. And, you know, we had bouncy houses when I was little, but I don't even think I probably went to like 1 in my entire life. And yeah, it's for 11 kids, he said 11, to be inside just watching TV. This is depressing. I can't. And then Disneyland, Disney World of all places.
On a related note, but not exactly the same note, part of this is fear-based, and that's also hurting your children. Your fear of letting your children play unsupervised, your fear of your kid hypothetically getting hurt on a playground, is resulting in them getting hurt in reality on a much more drastic mental level by locking them inside and having them be online all day.
they're not scared of them being hurt on the playground. Okay, kids need to get a little bit roughed up so that they can understand their, they can become more self-aware of their body and everything. And I'm a protective parent when they're like roughhousing and running around and playing. Like, I watch them, I make sure they're okay, especially because their fucking stupid mom would like freak out if they got hurt here, which, by the way, they've never had a serious injury under me, but they've gotten several serious injuries at her place. I would never, like, that just sounds like an excuse. That sounds like an excuse to me. Wait, Jonathan Haidt? Wait, he wrote the book on moral dilemmas, which I've been wanting to do a video about, I think. What? Hold on. What is this?
One of the most enlightening books that I've ever read is a book called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. I've mentioned it on this channel, I believe. And I know I'm a little corny, but that book absolutely changed my life. I would recommend it to anyone. It's not a parenting book. It's just about like social media and growing up and society and stuff. But basically, our parents grew up with parents who essentially said, "Buzz off, kids, go out and play in the mud." And they didn't see their kids until like nightfall when they rang the dinner bell and screamed, "Boys, come get your slop." And that absolutely came with its negative byproducts. But because of those, and because of the like serial killer moral panic of the 80s and the crime fear-mongering of the 90s, despite this era being objectively, statistically, the safest era in American history, I can't speak for every specific country in the world or whatever, but in America anyway, those kids grew up to be this current generation of parents who are simultaneously raising their kids to be very, very afraid of the outside world, of kidnappers, of stranger danger, of creeps at the playground, of physical injury on a bike, of bullying, of random violence, and instead just as laissez-faire and like blanket trusting of the digital world as their parents were of the real world. And when you hover over your children, when you supervise their every move, when you teach them to live in fear of everyone around them, to be wary of their neighbors, to stay out of the dirt because it's dirty, and that slide is dangerous because it could burn you, and there's gonna be some guy in a van who offers you drugs. I'm 29. I just finished growing up. Where are all the guys in vans offering free drugs? I certainly would have loved some free drugs when I was a teenager. Where
Oh my god, this guy's funny. And I would put all my money on these parents don't actually buy that. They just want the excuse of not doing anything with their kids. 100%. Because you cannot sit there and tell me you're aware of all these good things and then you're also simultaneously not aware of all the harmful effects of just the screen rotting.
are these people? Those children grow up to be the anxious, scared of the world people that I've had to interact with in my life, and like I've had to work really hard in my adulthood to not end up becoming. And the fearful to hateful pipeline is a swift one that I think that we're really fighting the effects of, politically speaking, societally speaking, right now. It is very important. It is vital to find the balance between these worlds, to allow your kids to play, not passively consume sensory-based content, and further, to do so unsupervised. That's how you develop your sense of self, your autonomy, your independence. When you're 7 and there's a snot-faced kid in Cookie Monster sweatpants on the playground who won't let you in on the slide, you don't like wallow in self-pity. You figure it out. You find out what kind of people you want to be friends with. You develop a sense of justice. When you're 5 and you want to turn with the toy that your friend has and he doesn't want to give it up, you learn conflict resolution. You learn how to defend your position. You learn persuasion. You learn de-escalation techniques. This shit is really, really important, and I could go on and on, but at a certain point I'd just be doing the entirety of the book, and I implore you to just read it. It's so, so good. You have to let your kids be kids. And the last thing that I'll say is that you are your child's frontal lobe until they're out of your house. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you have to look your child in the eyeballs. Children in the presence of their parents try to make eye contact with their parents an average of 2.4 times per minute. And think about it. When your frontal lobe is mush and you don't know how to react to things, you look to the person in the world that you trust, that provides you with everything. You stub your toe, you look at your mom, and if she goes, oh, baby, are you okay? Oh, then you cry and you freak out because that's what you're seeing. If you look at dad and he goes, that shit hurts, doesn't it? You'll giggle and you'll shake it off because that's what you're seeing. That
100%. Again, kids are a reflection of what we're doing. You do not over coddle them. Ugh.
On a micro scale, all day, constantly is happening because your child is outsourcing her emotional regulation to you, her parent. And that is your responsibility. responsibility. It's how they learn to react to stuff. Something happens, they gauge your reaction and they adjust. So not only is it vital that they are interacting with stuff and having stuff happen to them, having thoughts, experiencing mild discomfort sometimes, not staring at Miss Rachel's goofy ass all day, but it's also vital and important that you get the hell off your phone and look at your kids. We are so overstimulated by social media and by our phones that so many people are exhausted of and bored by their children, and I think that that's maybe the saddest thing that there is. There is nothing on the planet more magical and mystical, and in my opinion, evidence of a deeper meaning to human existence than looking at your kid and watching them do something. How could that possibly be boring? I cried yesterday.
Super based, and they are little for only a little bit of time. They grow up so fast. My oldest is turning 10 and I can't fucking believe it. Like he was 2 last I checked. What the fuck?
The playground because I was on the swing, and I hear my son go, "Dad!" And then I look and he like emerges in the sun over the top of the little castle enclosure, and he says, "I found a new friend," with some like kid's hand in it. And they were just smiling, running around, playing pretend. That is the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. Put your damn phone away and get whimsical about your kids. Your child is the most beautiful thing in the world. If her asking you for attention is overwhelming for you, then you do not deserve to be a parent. If you're
based. And that's the magic everyone talks about, by the way. He understands the magic of being a parent. There is a magic to it. A lot of it is very beautiful, but at the same time, it is very difficult. It is a lot of attention demanding on our part. If you think about all you have to do to keep yourself alive, and then you multiply that by like 2 or 3 times for a child, because not only do they need like to stay alive by those things, but they also are just like walking, like they're almost like Roombas, right? They're just like a danger to themselves. It's hard. It's very difficult, but it's also very rewarding. But you have to be an engaged parent. Otherwise, like he said, you don't fucking deserve to be a parent or call yourself a parent. Take your kids swimming to the pool and don't even give them floaties. They're like 4 or 5, 6 years old, and you sit on your phone all day and they almost drown. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck that kind of parent.
Kid has never gotten to play with his mom or his dad, then you are a shitty parent. I don't know what to tell you. Children are human beings. Like, do you not remember being a kid? Do you not remember how much fun it was to play Legos with your dad? And if you don't have that experience, do you not feel super robbed by not getting to do that? Do you not want to give that experience to your kid? Is whatever AI generated video of Charlie Kirk holding hands with Jesus you're watching for the 400th time on Facebook really more important than that? You can't put Kev on stage or Skip Bayless on hold for 30 minutes for your child. I think that's disgusting, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
100%.
But anyway, my broader
100%.
point is that at minimum, I think it is a worthy and easy alternative to at least not give them YouTube. At least make them watch a movie. And you get to enjoy it too. I love watching kids movies with my son. It's beautiful. They're sweet and fun. I think I've seen every Pixar and Disney animation studio movie that there is by now, and they're great. Wreck-It Ralph is sick as hell, and there's an Owl City song in it. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.
Yeah.
In today's post-video video, because I'm sick and I've made myself cry twice while filming this video, I'm actually going to reuse something from a previous video, one of my favorite videos that I've ever made that it didn't have that many views, and I'm really proud of like how it turned out, so I'm just gonna kind of like reuse that. So if you've seen my cover,
I'm gonna stop here only because I do actually, my battery dying kind of delayed me further. I have to go pick up my son from school. My daughter's homesick today, but yeah, this guy, go and subscribe to him. Shameless Nerd, love the name. This is the first time hearing of him, and I think he has a completely base take, and he seems like a very caring and loving parent, and we need more people like this, and we need this message to be spread out, because there are lots of people out there. I have even a few friends in my life who desperately want their own children and can't have them. It's super sad. It's affected their lives for the worst. And then you have these piece of shit motherfuckers who don't even want to interact with their own child, constantly do things to separate themselves from the child, and yet are still territorial with their time with it. And it pisses me off. If you don't want to be a kid, or if you don't want to be a parent, give it up. give it up to someone who fucking wants it and will do it right, because you're fucking up the world. You are fucking up. Oh, he's singing. Oh my God. Okay, we got to go and check this out. Please do me a favor and go like his video, check him out. He's a smaller-ish YouTuber, and you should check out whatever he's singing right now. I'm sure it's awesome. And I will do the same later when I get back. But for now, I'm going to wrap things up here, and tell me what you think about all of this. Do you think... I don't even know. I can't think of any follow-up questions. I'm sorry. I'm kind of dying from allergies, if you can't tell, and just losing it in general. And I wasn't really planning on filming this right now, but I started watching this and I was like, I have to react to this because this is exactly how I feel. It's so nice to hear another person who feels and thinks this way, because I think it's super important stuff. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me, and hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye, bestie.